It's The Last Stand. And here is your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. It is The Last Stand. I'm Brian Custer. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. And joining me today is one of the NBA's best players. This guy is a multi-all-star. He's one of boxing's best friends as well. You can call him Dame Dollar. You can call him Dame Time. Damian Lillard joins us here on The Last Stand. What's up, Dame?
What's up, bro? What's going on?
It's good. Good to finally have you on. So when it's in the off season, how much of your training in the off season is hoop? How much is your training boxing?
I think obviously I'm always on the court, but when the season ends, and that's typically the time where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a break. It's a long season. I gotta kind of get off the court a little bit, let my body rest. But the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't want to get too far out of shape. It just gets harder on your body to just completely take time off and then come back and get back to it. So I keep, doing like, just body functional exercises and stuff like that. And that's usually when I box the most, just to keep sweating and to keep moving. Is like that time period, like that month and a half when the season first ends. That's when I'm boxing the most.
Who introduced you to the sport?
I don't think it was an individual. It was like my family just growing up, just all the prize fights. Every time my family got together, it was like, the Super Bowl, the finals. It was always those types of things, and we always watched prize fights. And eventually I got around to taking interest in fighters on the undercard, and then I started looking into, who coming out of the amateurs, and then up and coming fighters, and getting on YouTube and just finding dudes, you know what I'm saying? And then as social media grew, I just start to see random names and random people, and I start following them, all the way up and to the point where it's like I got friends now that's like Bud and Spence. They just made this fight, and one of my friends was like, "Man, I remember you telling me about those two in 2014." That's crazy. I was like, "Yeah, like." But that's just an example of how I just was like I've been on top. Like I find those dudes young and I be on top of it. But I mean Dre, like I've been following Dre, him being from Oakland. I've been following Dre Ward for forever, since I was a kid. So I mean, I always been into it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we just had Andre Ward too on The Last Stand. Do you remember when you fell in love with the sweet science?
Uh I'd say I fell in love with it probably toward the end of college. I'd say like 2010, 2011. Like I was always a big fan of it. But
Yeah.
I say around that time, that's when I started like every day. Like when I had some downtime, I'm like watching something with boxing. You know what I mean? And then it just kept growing to the point where now I'm just like, when I get off the court, I finish working out, and when I'm sitting there on my phone, like people probably think I'm texting or on Instagram, but I'm like on YouTube going to Fight Hype and Dante's Boxing Nation and Blue Blood Sports and Radio Raheem, Ellie Seckback. I'm like typing in all these things. I'm trying to see everything that's been said, any new fights getting made, like whatever. So, I talk to a lot of people in boxing, so I'm always on the phone trying to get the scoop so I can see what's coming up, what's gonna happen. So it's definitely been just gradually getting worse and worse to where I'm like, man, I might as well get in the promoter game. Like I might as well
Right,
start
you might as well.
promoting.
That's fantastic. By the way, we got to get The Last Stand as part of your favorites, man. You done it off
Man,
everybody but The
man, for
Last
real.
Stand. So we got to add that to your favorites.
For sure.
Um, uh, who in the NBA really got hands?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I used to hear David West all the time. Jerry Stackhouse, like, I've heard those types of names, but I don't think you really know.
Yes. Hmm.
I mean, I don't really know who really has hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't know.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, you mentioned it. We do have Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, Showtime pay-per-view, July 29th. Who wins that fight and why, you think?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm usually able to pick a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when it comes to those two, I don't know. I really feel like this is a 50-50 fight. Like, no outcome would surprise me in this fight. Like, I could see either one winning by decision. I could see either one winning by stoppage. It just depend on how I go that night. But obviously both of them top of the sport. Um, Spence he gonna get to that body. He gonna bang. He tough. He Southern. Tough. Just he gonna bring it. It's gonna be a fight with him. A lot of people talk about the accident and how he came back since. He came back and fought Danny Garcia like no tune-up. So he came back and he didn't do none of those little like, oh, let me just take this dude. He jumped right back in the mix, and was beating dudes. And then you look at Bud being undisputed at 140. He come up to 47. I think he'd have knocked everybody out he fought since he came up to 47, right? And he at first it was, man, who was he fighting? And things like that. But I mean, he obviously it was controversial with Sean Porter with his dad and stopping the fight and whatever, but he stopped him. You know what I'm saying? He dropped him twice. He stopped him. Sean Porter ain't no easy out for nobody. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people was thinking he beat Spence, even though it was an earlier fight. But it's a toss up for me. Like nothing would surprise me in that fight. I think Bud is a lot stronger than people be thinking though. You know what I'm saying? Like he like wiry, strong, and his physique don't look the way that he is in the ring. So I mean, you will hope that Errol don't go out there and kind of think the opposite of what that is. I mean, I was watching him fight. Who was he? Spence broke his eye socket. Kell Brook, and he like knocked him out like with kind of like a jab hook. Like they was real close. I'm like, that's like a different type of power. Like it was weird how he just hurt him like that. I thought he was faking or something, but it's like that's like a different type of power to be able to do that to a big welterweight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's gonna be a great fight. Like if I'm those two, I'm signing up for a trilogy. Make all that money. That's like probably the most money they're gonna make together. And they both getting a little older. I know Bud is older than him, but neither one of them seem like they want to be boxing forever. So I think if they split, or I mean if somebody lose twice, they for sure gonna make enough money to walk away. So we'll see.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right about that. Hey, everybody, I'm Brian Custer. Got some exciting news. We have a new sponsor for our show today, Caldera Lab. Say goodbye to that generic face wash on your counter because Caldera Lab is here to save the day when it comes to your skin. It's backed by leading clinical trial where 9 out of 10 men experience healthier and visibly improved skin. Look, check out my mug. Caldera Lab has the tools to unlock your best first impression and confidence. Now, Caldera Lab creates high-performance men's skincare products by combining pharmaceutical-grade science along with nature's purest and most potent ingredients. And kicking off their stellar skincare selection, we have the Regimen Bundle. It's a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. Inside this bundle, you'll find the clean slate, the base layer, and the good. All right, the clean slate is where you start your day. It's a balancing cleanser that uses gentle plant-based cleansing, leaving your skin types really exceptionally refreshed. Then you have the base layer. It's a nutrient-dense fortifying moisturizer that hydrates your skin. It absorbs fast, leaving you with that matte finish so you can start your day confidently. The good, it's your go-to at night before bed, and it's really a clinically proven multifunctional serum that helps your skin look tighter, smoother, as well as help reduce, and you know what I'm talking about, the wrinkles, the fine lines. See, look at this, just smooth, brothers. smooth. I'm telling you, it's ready to take your skin to the next level with Caldera Lab. Look no further than the icon. It's that rejuvenating eye serum. It's here to address the 3 most common skin concerns around that eye. You know what I'm talking about. The fine lines, the dark circles, and of course the puffiness. It's committed, and I'm talking about Caldera Labs, to transparency, sustainability, and excellence. Caldera Lab is on a mission to better men's skincare around the world and providing itself on clean ingredients and doing right by their customers and the planet we live in. Caldera Lab is a certified B Corporation as well as a member of the 1% for the planet. Listen, get 20% off with the code LASTSTAND at calderalab.com. 20% off. calderalab.com. Make sure you use the code LASTSTAND. Unlock your youthful glow, folks, and you'll be ready for the summer with Caldera Lab. What's the next mega fight then you would like to see happen?
I would like to see David Benavidez and Canelo. Like, I think that's the one. You know, obviously the background of being Mexican fighters in boxing is legendary, period. The fact that Canelo is Canelo, I think David is, you know, people have kind of gotten on to him. Now they see him and they're like, man, like the Mexican monster, he deserved that name. What he just did to Caleb Plant, and Caleb Plant is like a high level fighter. So, you know, I think people want to see it. Like, Mexican fans want to see that. You know what I mean? And they love Canelo, but they like, this who he need to get in there with. So I think that's honestly, I think that's the next major fight after like Bud and Spence. I think it's also still some major fights at lightweight too. You know, a couple more of them dudes could mix it up and, you know, tanking Devin, tanking Shakur. What is it? Inouye and Stephen Fulton. Like that's coming up. I think that's going to be a major fight. Like, for boxing fans, you know, the world might not really know either of them like the boxing world do, but I think that's another major fight. I think Fury and Usyk is a major fight. Like, I want to see that one. I still think Wilder and Joshua is a major fight that got it. Like, I think that's a big one. So, I mean, a lot of them, man.
I love how you pointed out the Benavidez Canelo, because Canelo's always talked about daring to be great. Well, to me, daring to be great is fighting in your division and putting all of your belts on the line and stop going up to 175 or whatever. Dare to be great in your division, especially when you got an unbeaten guy and 2-time champion like Benavidez right there. To me, I'm with you. I think that would be a phenomenal fight. This always makes news when you do it. Give me the Damian Lillard, pound for pound, top 5 fighters in the sport right now.
Pound for pound, top 5 in the sport right now. Bud, Spence, Tyson Fury, Inoue, and make sure I don't leave nobody out. Bud, Spence, Fury, Inoue, and Canelo, probably, I'll probably say that's top 5.
Okay. Love it. Where do you see Tank Davis?
Like, Tank is like that. I just feel like I want to see Tank fighting like all these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Tank resume is strong. You know, I don't know why people act like it's not. I think it's strong. I just feel like those other dudes, like, you know, I would consider putting him in there over anyway, because he just beating up those dudes. Like, I've seen him fight enough times where I'm like, they just seem overmatched. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it don't look like he has that healthy fear of like, I could come out on the other side. Like, Nonito Donaire really like pushed him one time, and then the second time he was older, so it just went different. But like, that pressure don't seem like it's on him. You know what I mean? And in a lot of those fights, it's like he gonna punish those dudes. So that would be the only thing that would make me be like, all right, I would put Tank in over him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah. Are you, Dave? Are you surprised that your social media tweets about boxing a lot of times goes more viral than your social media tweets about basketball?
I mean, I don't even know how viral either of them go. Like, I don't know how viral my basketball tweets or how viral my boxing tweets go. But boxing is a sport that people love. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying people don't love basketball, but like boxing and combat sports, period, is like it's a lonely sport. You know, it's like it takes a warrior to go out there, and it ain't like you going out there playing one-on-one basketball. Like you going out there to fight, and you fighting in front of millions of people. You can get beat up, you can get knocked out. Like so, like man, it's I think that makes the fans just a little crazy about it. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I think because I'm so deep into it, and when I say stuff, like the people that are major fans of boxing and they passionate about it, they see that I'm into it, and it gives them something to to hook on to. So I think that's probably why.
Look, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk to you about some basketball stuff. Obviously, with the finals going on, talk to me about what do you think about the current state of this NBA that you're playing in right now? What do you think about it?
It's definitely evolving. Um, from the day I came in the league, it's a different league now, and there's positives and negatives to that. And I'll say the biggest positive is how we're able to capitalize on what we do financially. Um, but the talent of the game has grown. The way the game is played is different than it was before. Um, you add social media to that, the entertainment side of it. You add that to it, and it's just different. But I think more than anything, what I recognize as a player, like somebody playing the game, that is more balanced than it's been, in a while. The last couple of years has been a lot more parity.
What's the biggest negative?
I think the biggest negative is the fact that entertainment is so helpful to it, but it's also has a negative impact as well when you talk about social media and um, what matters to some people. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you can't have the kind of compensation we have and the type of exposure we have um, without some of the things that also become a negative. You know what I mean? Like you got to take the good with the bad. It's that type of thing. Like it ain't just about you can't just come out there and say like, oh, it's just for the love of the game. We just want to play and we don't want to do this, we don't want to do that because the other things bring what you ultimately want. It's like a fighter that's the best fighter, but people don't want to watch him. And he's 42-0 and beating everybody, but he don't talk trash, he don't dress crazy, he don't say nothing crazy, he just beat people. So that fighter might not make 30 million in a fight. He might be making 5 million or 3 million or whatever, but he's the best. But that's not what people want to see. So I think we kind of in that type of space where it's like it's going great in all those ways, but we got to compromise and we got to, the game has to come with other things, to keep it a great fan experience as well.
You've been in Portland a long time, so obviously people look at it and say, that's Dame's team. But it seems now a lot of these guys are coming right into the league and like, hey, this is my team, this is my franchise, almost as if I don't know what, maybe entitled. What do you think?
I would say entitled is the right word, but I don't think it's necessarily their fault alone. It's the culture that's been created and the way we talk about it. This guy's a franchise guy, and this guy is like we talk about Wembenyama, like he's the greatest prospect ever across sports. And it's like, okay, when he comes in, what do you think he's going to expect? Whether he believes it or not, if this is what everybody's saying he is before he even touches the floor, you don't have a choice, but he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the franchise player.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously it's going to be a positive for the player because he's going to be welcomed. It's going to be a comfortable situation and all these things, but it takes away that, that fight that you got to have to like earn your stripes and to earn what's given to you. And when you don't have to go through that process, it ends up kind of hurting some people because then you just expect it. You just expect things to happen. When you don't got to fight for it and you don't got to earn it, it doesn't have the same value to you. So then you're more likely to, let it slip away or do something to I guess risk it all because you don't know the true value of it. You didn't have to come here and really like get in the mud and dig for that. It was almost handed to you, at the gate. So I do think it's entitlement. And people got managers and trainers and agents and all this stuff when they 12, 11, 12 years old. So these people are speaking that type of life into them to where that's how their mind is wired. You know what I mean? So it's definitely changed the game for sure.
If you were commissioner, biggest change you would like to see the NBA implement?
I would say the biggest change that if I was the commissioner, it would be mandatory to have 2 vets on the team. Like, I'm talking about real vets, like how Miami got Udonis Haslem. You know what I'm saying? He can play if they need him to play, but like a real leader, somebody that's been around, somebody guys gonna have to respect. And, it's almost like, I don't want to say it like that, but like a father figure on the team because guys coming in the league so young.
Yeah.
And they having all this money, and now they, it's almost like they get everything, and it's a dream come true, but they're exposed to a lot of things that, can put you in a world of trouble. And your parents ain't always gonna be able to be there to hold your hand. You're gonna be trying to distance yourself from your parents because you want to live. So it's important to have people that is on that journey with these young dudes to kind of steer them in the right direction and show them the way properly. So. I think one thing is like the league is just getting younger and younger and younger. And, it's dudes that's being called, that's exiting the league that's being, oh man, he's done, and they 31 years old. Like when they talk about me, they be like, he's aging and this, that. I'm like, I'm 32. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an aging super. And I'll be like, they talk about like just the way they speak about players that are vets is like, I'm aging. What do you mean? Like I'm 32 years old, bro. Like I don't have no crazy injury history. I don't live a crazy life, but it's just we're ushering in 19-year-olds, 18, 20 over and over. And it's like what they really need is people on these teams that are older to kind of help keep the culture in order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. And along those lines, obviously the league they said they're going to wait until the finals is over to administer the punishment to Ja Morant. If you were his mentor, if you were on his team, what advice would you give Ja Morant?
I would have a lot to say. You know what I'm saying? As somebody that I come from an environment of you grow up around what you grow up around. And, there's many ways to try to control that environment. Some people can't be controlled. Sometimes you have success and you think that you can get away with this or that. But I would have a lot to say, but I'm not going to sit here and say, this is what I would tell them. Everybody and their mama got some advice for them right now. So it's just an unfortunate situation. You know what I'm saying? A superstar athlete, a young man that's, that's just getting started, major shoe deal, all these things. You just hope that, he's able to learn from it and move on, and continue on the path that he's been on.
Hey, everybody, I'm Brian Custer. Our next partner, Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. You think I got like this overnight? No, it's because of AG1. And I wanted to try it because I wanted better gut health, increased energy, immune system support. I take AG1 in the morning before starting my day, and it really makes me feel like I'm doing something good for my body, like covering all my nutritional bases, and it's great before your workouts. It's made with 75 super high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced ingredients that deliver benefits like mood, immune system, and sleep support, sustained energy, and really so much more. Really quickly, I noticed that it helps me with improved digestion, and I feel great, and it helps support my sleep. I like that AG1 is delivered monthly, so I don't even have to think about it. So if you want to take ownership of your health, today is a good time to start. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 travel packs to go with your first purchase. All you've got to do, go to athleticgreens.com/laststand. That's athleticgreens.com/laststand and check it out. You hear basketball aficionados hesitant to give Nikola Jokic his just due. But the guy is a 2-time MVP. Give me your thoughts on the Joker as a player, and do you believe the Denver Nuggets can become the new dynasty of the Western Conference?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they hesitant on Joker. I don't know what that's about. Because I was on live the other day, and I was just like, when I really think about it, he's probably the best player in the league. I mean, obviously, there's more gifted players and more probably talented dudes out there, but like, he's probably the best basketball player in the league. He shoot threes, he score on the block, he bring the ball up, he make plays, he's smart, he go to the line, he's in shape, he plays with good pace, he rebounds, like, he gets triple-double after triple-double without forcing the triple-double. Like, he's playing the game the right way. He's not seeking attention. He don't care about interviews. He don't care about getting attention and who they give credit to. He just play. And it's not an act. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's what I like about him the most is, like, he just do what he do, dominate, and, like, who he is truly who he is. You know what I'm saying? And, like, as far as them as a team, like, what they could become, they paying a lot of dudes, like, a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that team is paid for. So, with the new CBA, I think it's going to be tough for them to keep it that way. And I think that'll be the one thing that they'll have issues with to just kind of, to really have a real run, like, a Golden State or something like that. I think that'll be the only thing that'll get in the way of them just kind of like being up there, and whoever gonna get it gotta see about them. I think you will regardless because they got enough good players, but as they are right now, it's gonna be tough based off the new CBA.
When you talk about the league, and work with me here because obviously you look at some of the biggest stars in the league, and I'm talking about you, LeBron, Steph aside, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, all of these big-time stars in the league aren't from America. And when you look at who's going to be the top pick of the draft, Victor Wembanyama from France. And as you talked about being the greatest, everyone's talking about the greatest thing that since sliced bread to come into the league. The year after that, who's going to be the number one pick? You can't even name who's going to be that guy. Some people will say, well, wait a minute, there's Bronny James. Well, Bronny James is not going to be a number one pick. And if you're honest, he wouldn't be a top 10, 15 pick if his last name wasn't James. Does the NBA have, let's say, an issue because we don't have any great American stars coming down the pipeline?
I mean, this is the thing. You always going to have some American stars. Like, Wemby's going to be the number one pick, but I mean, look around the league. Of course, you got the Jokers, the Lukas, the Giannis. You're going to have those dudes, you know what I mean? They coming from Europe, and, scouts go over there, and they like, this the guy. He's one of those, he's one of those guys, and they bringing him over, but they going they also going to colleges around the United States, and they like, oh, Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson. When you look at the the larger, I guess, sum of the parts that we are as a league, you're gonna say, okay, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Dame Lillard, C.J. McCollum, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, uh, Jalen Brunson. I'm not naming, just the biggest of names, but like all the best players on their teams are American. You know what I'm saying? But you always gonna have your pool of like European stars that come over here and they're gonna do their thing. You know what I mean? And that number is growing, but you always gonna have Americans. Like basketball is, it's our game.
You're right. Listen, I know I'm biased, so I'm going to ask this because I am biased, and I believe that Dame, you are loyal to a fault. But I think it is a shame that we don't get to see Damian Lillard playing in May and June every single season. Do you think we finally have come to the time where it's a time for Portland to trade Damian Lillard to a contender so we can see Damian Lillard every May and June?
I mean, I think that's a loaded question because they could trade me to somewhere that we all say, this is a contender. But I mean, what is it going to cost for me to get there? You know what I mean? Like, what is it going to cost the team that we're saying is a contender for me to get there? And how is it a guarantee that we're going to be playing in June when I get there? How do we know if everybody's going to be healthy? How do we know if it's going to work out? You know what I'm saying? Like, when Russ went to the Lakers, everybody was the Lakers, you know what I mean? Then they got Russ coming off the bench like he's not a Hall of Famer. Like, and try to put a battery in his back, like, man, if you come off the bench, that'd be like, man, that's Russell Westbrook. Like, what? But like, neither thing is guaranteed. You know what I mean? If I go here, go there. I mean, I really don't know, but I think I've made it clear. What my wishes are. I want to do it. I want to have opportunity to win in Portland, and right now we got a opportunity asset wise to build our team that can build a team that can compete. That would be the number one thing. But if we can't do that, then obviously, like I've said, for months now, like then there's a separate conversation that we would have to have. But I got we just got to let things take its course and see where it lands and go from there. But there's no guarantee that I'll be playing in June regardless of the situation. Of course, I'd love to not been in the playoffs the last 2 seasons, even though I was in the prior 8, the 8 before that. Just being in it every year is different, not being there. But, I'm going to always stay in the fight. And, people make fun of it like, man, run from the grind and this, that. People make fun of that. But, I mean, I'm not a fool. I'm not crazy. And I love the organization I play for. I love the city I live in, and I'm gonna give them every opportunity to give me or give us what we need to have a true chance to compete for that. And if that's something that is impossible or something that can't get done, like I said, then we got a different conversation to be had. So,
what'd you think about your homie? And that's your boy, C.J. McCollum said, "quote I think this is the summer that Portland finally trades Dame. I think they have the assets now, and they know that they can get a lot in return for him." What'd you think when you saw that quote?
I mean, I didn't even see the quote, but yesterday, that's funny you said that because yesterday he was at my house.
He didn't tell you that?
I'm about to tell you. So yesterday he was at my house. And we was eating sushi and drinking a bottle of wine, and we was watching the game. And he was like, "You saw what I said, right?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know what he was talking about." And he was like, "Man, You know they think I know what's finna happen. They think I know what you got on your mind. They asked me, and this is what I said, and he told me he said that. I was like, man, that don't surprise me at all, man. CJ gonna speak his mind. So
That's pretty funny. And I think a lot of it is because, man, there's been so many stories circulating, like Dame Lillard to New York. That this is the summer that the Knicks make that deal, or Dame Lillard to the Miami Heat. This is the summer. Your thoughts about that when you saw those stories?
I mean, I don't really. I see these stories every summer, bro. Like I see these stories every single summer. So I mean, I don't know. It's like this ain't nothing new.
Yeah, interesting.
This ain't nothing.
Okay, Dane, for everybody who comes on and we get questions from social media, people who support and watch the show, they always submit them. We got a number of them for you, but we'll only get to a few here. First one comes from Twitter. It's from Orlando. He asks, what's your current favorite division and favorite fighter within that division?
My favorite division in boxing is lightweight, 135. And my favorite fighter in that division is, right now, my favorite fighter in that division, I'm going to go with Devin Haney. Because, I mean, I love Shakur Stevenson. I love Shakur Stevenson. And I love Tank. But Devin from Oakland, man.
Okay,
So
I got it. Yeah.
I went to Australia last year to watch Devin become undisputed because I'm always roll with the town. Just the same way I roll with Dre. I'm rolling with Dre. I'm rolling with Devin, and I also just the way people deal with Devin. It's always the criticism. There's always something with him. But he a disciplined fighter. He committed to the sport. He don't take shortcuts. He live a good life. You know what I mean? He a good young dude, and he come from that school of boxing. The Zab Judah and Floyd Senior and Floyd. He been in that camp since he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? He comes from the school of boxing. So you got to respect it. And I think now that he's undisputed and he's having his successes, always he don't have the power. He don't do this. He don't do that. It's always a takeaway, but they not respecting the fact that, I mean, this dude Jorge Linares he ain't sweet at all. Like they talk about him getting hurt by him like he didn't drop Loma. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, he beat Linares, he beat Gamboa, he beat JoJo Diaz. Like he done been in there with some. Like he ain't just been, I know he started his career where he was at in Tijuana or something. 16, he had like 10 fights over there, 12 fights. But I mean, he been fighting dudes. He been fighting. So like, and then just the fight against Loma was controversial. I thought it could have been a draw or 115, 113 either way. But I wasn't mad at that decision at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always you got to dominate the champ until it don't fit what people want to happen. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't dominate the champ. He took the last round off, which could have, if he didn't and he won it, that was a draw right there.
You're right. It's a good point.
I mean,
good point.
So yeah, man, I'm rolling with Devin.
El Chupacabron asks, give me 5 boxers that you love to watch the most.
5 boxers I love to watch the most. I'm gonna say Jamel Charlo. I love Mel because he got like a real mean streak. Like he really be mad.
Yes.
He really mean what he say. He's not pretending at all. Like he take it serious. Like I love Mel. So I'm gonna go with Jamel Charlo. I'm gonna go with Tyson Fury because I just think he entertaining as hell. Like he just an entertainer and he can really fight. Like he be so loose and then he just go out there and just dominate. You know what I'm saying? And he do it with like kind of just lighthearted, not overly emotional. He talk, and he back it up. So I would say Jamel Charlo. I'm gonna go Tyson Fury. I'm gonna say I like watching Tank because Tank bring like a different vibe to boxing. Tank is like the vibe that Tank brings to boxing is not like Floyd.
No.
It's not like flash. It's not like flashy.
No, it's
but
hip
it's
hop.
yeah, it's like an Allen
Yes,
Iverson type of.
absolutely.
It's like an Allen
Yes,
Iverson type
you
thing.
got it right. He is the Allen
Like
Iverson
how
of
he
boxing.
dressed at the press
Yeah.
conference. Yeah, like he bringing his own flavor to like boxing and like his ring attire, the artists that he come out with. You know what I'm saying? Like just his stuff is different. It's very AI
Right.
like. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I'm gonna say Mel Charlo, Tyson Fury, Tank. I'm gonna say Boots Ennis. I like Boots because like just how militant Bozy and how
Yes.
militant his dad
Yes.
is. Like just how his dad, like I was watching an interview, his dad was like, man, my kids don't wear mouthpieces. You know, we don't get hit. Like just like the kind of like that type of tutelage and that type of background that he come from, and like how you can just see it in his performance and in his demeanor that is not loud, it's not extra, but it's like that real
Mm-hmm.
confidence. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then every once in a while you will get like a little bit of like arrogance and
Right.
cockiness out of
Yeah.
him. Like that remind me of like what I come from, like how my dad is and how my background is. So like I really like that dynamic. You know what they got going on? Like they got a janky looking like gym. They setup is just like real, just like they setup is real, just regular and real
Yeah.
neighborhood like. You know, so I'm gonna go with Boots.
One more.
And then my fifth one, I'm gonna say,
You got Errol.
mm,
You got Wilder. You got Bud.
watching Wilder fight. Wilder make me nervous because they be like, dudes just be boxing them and they be, probably winning rounds, and I be just like, just hurry up and just land it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I be getting nervous waiting for him to land because I'm like, I don't think he winning on the cards. Like, and I just be waiting for him to land, and I be uneasy the whole fight. I don't be liking that. Um, I'm gonna say,
Devin.
I mean, I like him. I'm just thinking of fighters that ain't
Yeah.
like that. I really, when I
Yeah.
watch, I'm like looking for like, what did he
Mm-hmm.
say? What did he? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? What did he? Um, I guess I'll go with uh, Big Baby Jared Anderson.
Oh my God. That one came out of left field.
I like watching him. I like watching him because he carry himself like he's already at the
Yeah.
top of the
Yeah.
division. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Like
Like, and it's not fake
yes.
confidence. It's just like, yeah, y'all don't know
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He always got a different ring
Yep.
walk. Like he really in the game.
He's
So
coming. He's definitely
I'm gonna
coming.
go with those five.
Okay.
He definitely coming.
VAR asks, give me the top 5 NBA players you think would have a decent boxing career.
In no order, I'm gonna just say five.
Yep. No order.
I'm gonna say James Johnson.
Okay.
I'm gonna say myself.
Mm-hmm.
DeMar DeRozan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of some other people that I didn't see. Do it got to be just current players or what?
They just said 5 NBA players you think would have a decent boxing career. Top 5 NBA players.
Okay, well I'm gonna go James Johnson, Kendall Gill,
Yep.
Jerry Stackhouse, DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan.
I feel like I'm missing somebody that I heard fight, but I'm gonna say me too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I like it. BJ Freeman asked, if you could compare yourself in the way you play basketball to the style of a boxer, name that boxer you would want to be.
If I can compare the way I play basketball to a boxer, Andre Ward.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Like I'm
Love
like
that.
I'm like that really I'm like that for real on the
that.
inside. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not loud and I don't talk a lot of trash, but like I'm here for whatever on the inside. Like you'll find out whatever level it goes to, you'll be
Right.
like they'll see. But like that's how Dre was. And you know what I'm saying? He didn't
Yes.
always get his just due. He didn't always get his credit, but his respect level was high. And He went out there like as a discipline. He went out there as a disciplined fighter. He was sharp. He knew his
Yeah.
opponent. He was prepared. He had that real bite. He could bite down. A little bit crazy. You know what I'm saying? His faith is strong outside of the ring, and I'm that same type of athlete. Every once in a while, like Dre. Like I remember I went to Dre versus Kovalev, the second fight, and I was backstage with Dre like before the like weigh in and the face off the day before the fight, and I was on stage when they actually weighed in and they faced off. I was standing right behind Dre. And Kovalev was like, I end your career. I end your career. And Dre just was looking at him and he was like, you gonna get what you asking for, dude. Like, you gonna get what you asking for. I was scared. I retired because I knew I didn't win. You gonna get what you asking for.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's some shit that I would say. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say nothing crazy. I would just be like, you gonna get what you asking for.
Yeah.
Like we gonna
Right.
see. And I was
Right.
like, that was so
I love it.
that was so me.
I
You know what
love
I'm
it.
saying?
Last
Like
I like it. I like it. All right, Dante, last one. Dante, Stephen J asks, have you ever seriously thought about leaving Portland?
it was never what I wanted to do. I'll say that. It's always like I've always said I want to stay in Portland and I've meant that. But a couple years ago we lost to Denver in the playoffs and um that was a year that I felt like it's open. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was open. I felt like we could have, made some ground. We played Denver in the first round, and they had like some injuries. Like a couple dudes was out, and we had I think it was Game 5 at Denver. It was Game 5 at Denver, and I had like 55, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, triple overtime, like. And I'm just like, I remember getting to the arena that day, like we win this one, and we finish them 4-2 at home, Game 6. And we probably gonna end up playing like I think it was like Phoenix ended up winning the next round. They beat the Lakers, but like we played well against Phoenix that whole year. I'm like, it's gonna be a tough series regardless, but this is our path to like Western Conference Finals. And then I was looking at it like that, and we lost Game 5. We went home. We came out strong Game 6, and they beat us. After that, I was like, man, like something got to happen. You know what I mean? And I was really frustrated after that. I was like,
Yeah.
that was probably the
Yeah.
most frustrated I had been in my career, and it wasn't towards. A lot of times you don't know if it's like towards the organization or nothing. Like I love the organization. I just was like, man, like I wasn't ready to stop playing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to keep going. And I was really frustrated and I was just
Right.
it
Yeah.
wasn't directed at the organization. It was just more so like I was frustrated with like why we not going? You know what I'm saying? Why we not going? And my heart was just in that. Like in my mind, we finna go here. All right, we gonna play Phoenix, we gonna be in a tough one. I was kind of thinking like we going. And the fact that we lost, we end up losing 4-2. I was frustrated after that. So I say at that time that was the one time where I was like, man, maybe this ain't how it's gonna work.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, Dane, we've come to the last section of the show. We call it The Last Stand. I'm just going to ask you a series of questions.
Yep.
You just give me the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready? All right, here we go. Favorite nickname? Dame Time, Big Game Dame, Dame Dollar, or Sub-Zero?
Dame Dollar.
Love it. Damian Lillard aside, who is your favorite NBA player to watch right now?
Me aside, my favorite player to watch right now is Devin Booker. Devin Booker been my favorite player for like the last 3 years.
Right now, if you read online, you hear these analyst talks, everybody keeps saying Damian Lillard is going to be traded to the Knicks. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Heat. Damian Lillard should be traded to the Celtics. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Nets. If one of those trades went through, Out of those teams, which one will you be like, that's not too bad?
Miami, obviously. Miami is the obvious one. And Bam is my dog. Bam is my dog for real. But I mean, I think Miami the obvious one. Brooklyn is obvious one. Is another obvious one because Mikal Bridges is my dog too. So I mean, and both are capable, have capable rosters. So
Interesting. All right. October 24th, when the NBA tips off the new season, do you think Dame Lillard will be in Portland?
I do.
Okay. Dame Lillard aside, best rapper in the NBA right now.
Best rapper in the NBA right now? I honestly don't know. I mean, it'd be so many people. It'd be so many people that rap that like when I first started doing it, I'm like, I'm the best rapper in the league. Now I'm just like, I'm about to put my fifth album out this summer. Like I started to make money from my music, and my music career started to kind of like move along. I stopped even really focusing on like who's the best, like because I didn't already established that I'm Dame Dollar. My music career has its own life aside from my basketball career, so it's not for me. It's not even a competition with other NBA players no more. I think when it comes to technical like rapping and really like writing the music and really like putting it out there and being consistent and like going after it like a true artist, like I don't really think it's nobody close to me like in that way. But I haven't heard a lot of people's music though.
I can understand that. If that's the case, can Dame Dollar give us just a couple of bars? Just a couple of freestyle bars.
Man, I only freestyle on Sway in the morning, man. Me and Sway got a handshake deal.
Come on, bro.
Sway in the morning.
Come
Sway
on
in
now.
the morning and bars on I-95, man. Those my
You
two
can't
rap
give us
Those
a
my
bar from
bars
the new deal.
platforms. Nah.
You
Sway
can't
in
give
the
us a
morning
sneak
and bars
preview
on
of the new stuff.
I-95. That's where I drop bars at, man. Shout out to bars on I-95.
I got to text
You gotta
Sway,
get
man,
approval
when we
from
done
Sway.
with this.
Get approval
Yeah,
from Sway,
right.
then I got you next time.
I love it. Okay, who's winning the NBA Finals?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough series for both. I can see either team winning it. A lot of people saw last night and they like Denver winning it, but it's like series change every game. After when Miami started playing that zone towards the back end of the second half, they got right back into the game, and they weren't making shots. The bench didn't play great, and they eventually they had it to 10. Denver called a timeout, and they could have. And Denver also made a lot of shots. So, if Miami come out and win game two, everybody gonna be like, Miami's gonna, it's going. That's how the series go. This team gonna win. That team gonna win. What are they gonna do to respond? They go back and forth, and then when somebody win, then people act like they knew already. But you never really know. Miami got like a real fighting spirit. They're gonna play to the end. They're gonna steal some games. Like they did it against Milwaukee. They did it against Boston. Like they're gonna continue to play that way. That's who they are. They're not just having random success. It's who they are. And Denver is a machine. So you just got to sit back and watch it. But I think either one of these teams could pull it off.
Quiet is kept because I heard you say about Bam being your dog. I could see you being on the Heat because you and Jimmy Butler would be two pit bulls. That would be a team of pit bulls if you joined the Miami Heat. That would be something.
Jimmy is my boy. Jimmy is my boy too, though. I rock with Jimmy. Bam is my partner for real. I talk to Bam all the time, but I'm cool with Jimmy too. But I mean, I ain't really honestly. You asked me where I think I'm gonna be in a Blazers uniform, and that's what I'm participating in trying to build what we need to build, and that's where I am. So it's what it is. Miami win the championship. That definitely ain't happening.
I love it. Look, this is what we do on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport, and then when you talk about the NBA, it gets no bigger than Damian Lillard, and especially in boxing now. Man, I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's been great to have you on. I want you to have a great summer, and I look forward to seeing you in Vegas at Spence and Crawford.
Yeah, I'm more than likely going to be there. I hope they make that Ryan Garcia and Rollies fight too. That'd be a solid little matchup. Ryan Garcia and Rollies would be a good one. They did the
Absolutely.
dude that Rollies
Absolutely.
fought last, the 40-year-old. They did him dirty. They did him dirty.
Yeah, Barroso. I
First of all,
know.
he was winning.
That was
He was winning.
that stoppage
He
was
dropped
way too
Rolly.
quick.
Rolly
Yes.
caught him with a good shot
Yes.
and pushed him down. They gave him a knockdown.
Yep.
Then they stopped the fight in the middle of the exchange when Barroso is
Yes.
getting the better of the exchange. He stopped it like he was hurt. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's the worst. That's the worst I've seen.
I know.
In a long time.
I know. I'm with no.
That was bad. That was bad.
You're preaching to the choir on that one. I'm with you on that one.
Sure.
But man, I appreciate you, Dame. Have a great summer. And folks, thanks for watching. That's what we do here on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport, and it gets no bigger than Damian Lillard. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next week.